Acha, have you ever asked yourself, what is revolution? For Osama bin Laden, the definition would have been gutting down the World Trade Center on 9/11. For Fidel Castro, it was the day he took up arms to overthrow the military dictatorship of Cuban President Fulgencio Batista. For Gandhi, marching hundreds of kilometers to Dandi and breaking the law of the British Empire by making salt was also a revolution. And what about the Maoists and separatists in Kashmir who are saying repeatedly that we do not want to be under your control and we want our own control? The answer lies in what lens you choose to look at it from. For Udham Singh, revolution was to kill Sir Michael Francis O'Dwyer during one of his speeches to avenge the death of hundreds and thousands of his own men in the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Sardar Udham Singh, the latest Shoojit Sircar film, at the heart of it, tries to look at it from a somewhat objective point of view. What is the difference between a revolutionary and a terrorist? Bhagat Singh is asked in one of the beautiful scenes in the film, to which Bhagat Singh responds saying, revolutionaries act symbolically. They do not terrorize people by unlawful means. Rather, they inspire people through their symbolic act. Revolutionaries believe in equality and humanity, and that's the difference. Shoojit Sircar tries to reflect on this very dilemma in his most political film so far, Sardar Udham.
Tell people I was a revolutionary.
Udham Singh is a person who reads Heer Ranjha and has never laid hands on anybody in his life. Although he was one of them who helped the revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh, he never took violence as a result. So what led him to kill a person in a packed hall in front of so many people? The answer lies in the past. The trauma of Jallianwala Bagh, the death of his own, the blood of his loved ones, the sheer cruelty of the merciless men in power. As I mentioned earlier, Sardar Udham is the most political film of Shoojit Sircar and a timely one too. Here you might say, but this is a period drama based in the time of the Britishers when they ruled India. What does it have to do with today? Well, it does. Shoojit is trying to communicate the present through the past that we have all read in the footnotes of our history books. He's trying to tell you that, hey, look, this is the fight our ancestors did for us to get our much loved and celebrated freedom from our oppressors. Don't let this slip away so easily. Udham Singh took up the name of Ram Mohammad Singh Azad, which the film potently tries to remind the bloodthirsty extremist forces on the polar ends today. The people who lost their lives fighting the Imperial British forces, battled for the very idea of an all-encompassing country where every people of every faith will be Azad or free under the Indian sovereign. In its 75 years of a free country, India has never faced a more serious crisis. Already its institutions, its courts, much of its media, its investigative agencies, its election commission have been pressured to fall in line with the present government's policies. The opposition is non-existent. The idea of Hindutva is in its full swing and the fabric of secularism is in tatters. The film also carefully criticizes the heavy hand of the government clampdown on basic rights, as simple as that of freedom of speech. In another beautiful scene in the film where Vicky Kaushal meets a homeless man in a desolate London corner, we encounter a monologue where Udham Singh tells the person about the importance of sharing and how freedom means equality. The scene immediately reminded me of Azadi chants that we have all heard in the last few years coming in from the alleys of JNU, Shaheen Bagh, Singhu Border and almost across every corner of the country. Even the Rowlatt Act, which the peaceful protesters at Jallianwala Bagh were protesting against, has seen a resurgence in the form of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, or UAPA. The Rowlatt Act authorized the colonial administration to indefinitely jail without trial persons it suspected of terrorism. More than a century later, descendants of this much-hated law are being widely weaponized by governments in free India, both to suppress the freedom of dissent and to stigmatize and indefinitely incarcerate dissenters and protesters without trial.
UAPA में व्यक्ति विशेष को कब आतंकवादी घोषित किया जाएगा, इसका प्रावधान है। आतंकवादी कार्यकर्ता है या उसमें भाग लेता है, अब इसमें दो राय हो सकती है क्या? कोई व्यक्ति आतंकवादी कार्य करेगा या भाग लेगा तो उसको आतंकवादी घोषित करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए.
For a section of the society, these are the masterminds of Tukde Tukde gang, for some Khalistani elements, and for some it signifies modern day terrorism. So who was Udham Singh then? A freedom fighter, a revolutionary, or a terrorist? What I understood from the film Sardar Udham, or to some extent what I thought Shoojit was trying to convey, was that Udham Singh was a troubled man who saw trauma from up close. The trauma of hundreds of people lying dead, as many were crying for help and a glass of water. People who were peacefully protesting a draconian act by the Britishers in 1919. The teenage trauma stayed with him for years, which translated into the act of killing O'Dwyer one fine day, avenging the death of so many people that he has encountered. But was his action justified? Can we celebrate the killing of a person knowing that the person is responsible for a massacre where thousands of people died? Shoojit asks this very question through this film. He takes you to a journey of man and his encounters, and at no point takes sides with Udham Singh or makes him a hero. Udham Singh faces the same dilemmas that a person holding a gun for the first time would have faced: the nervousness, the shaky hands, the moral ambiguities. And to show this, Shoojit chooses a narrative mode which goes back and forth. It's not entirely linear, because that's exactly how trauma works. Trauma has phases. It has triggers. It has a sinusoidal curve where you are pushed to the brink of taking an action so extreme that you are not even sure about it in the first place. And he hasn't done it hurriedly as well. Portraying the effects of trauma on screen is not easy. You try to skip important events to make it a crisp film, which I think is the demand of the low attention span heavy audiences of today, and you end up making a film where your characters can't breathe. Shoojit goes the other way. Whether it's the long walk in the blizzard of Russia, or following O'Dwyer in the streets of London, or accompanying him for hunting, the audience is sucked into his psyche through the runtime and captivating eyes of magnificent Vicky Kaushal in the film. And although the last 30-40 odd minutes of the film might be remembered in the history of Indian cinema for its sheer cinematic brilliance, it is where the trauma germinated in the mind of Udham Singh. And on that particular day, I'm sure there were hundreds of such Udham Singhs that were born. Just like in the present day context. While we celebrated 75 years of freedom from the imperialist British regime on one hand, the country experienced nationwide protests on the other. First against an unimaginable Citizenship Amendment Act, and then the Farm Bills in 2020. One after the other, reports made its way. People were killed, riots took place, but nothing really changed. So if there is an Udham Singh sitting right now in one of those NRC camps who sees the massive wrongdoing to his or her family and decides to avenge the death by killing the men in power and overthrow the government, or at least make a statement, would you consider that as an act of terrorism or revolution? When after years of negligence and oppression, a peasant revolt takes place in 1967 at Naxalbari, which gives birth to the present-day Naxals, will you call it revolution or terrorism? The Naxalites have frequently targeted tribal police and government workers in what they say is a fight for improved land rights and more jobs to neglected agricultural laborers and the poor. Or let's take an example from the latest sleeper hit, The Family Man Season 2. Remember Raji's character, who was the best fighter pilot amongst the Tamil Ilam rebels? Director Raj and DK decided to look at Raji not from a very straightforward, straight-jacketed demonic angle. Rather, they decided to focus on the troubled past that she had encountered. The merciless killing and the raping of her family members by the Sri Lankan army men, the constant pouncing on her flesh by her employers or others who saw an opportunity. Raji bought into the idea of revolution she was made to believe in by extremist forces, which was fueled by the childhood trauma she had to undergo. Towards the end of the season, although Raji dies thanks to the efforts of her hero Shrikant, somewhere we feel for Raji. There is empathy that we have for her, for what she had to go through in her life. And this is what Shoojit Sircar and the writers of the film Ritesh Shah and Shubhendu Bhattacharya did with Udham Singh's character. They built the character through the ups and downs of the world that Udham was living in. Udham Singh grew up with war in the backdrop as well. A bloody war that was being fought by the world powers of that time, where millions of Indian soldiers gave their lives fighting for the Queen. The war that is constantly reminded to the audience through bits of news headlines and wall posters throughout the film, making the audience feel the constant threat that is looming large. The directors and actors of the film are trying to tell you constantly that the war is actual terrorism. While the attacks of the 9/11 killed around 3,000 people, the death toll of the war that followed can tally in millions. Sadly, even in the wake of spending over a decade battling terrorism, there is no agreed upon definition. Osama bin Laden and the early Taliban were celebrated mujahideens or freedom fighters. And if you watch this documentary of fathers and sons, you would see how much pride a father takes in naming one of his offsprings Osama, a war hero according to him.
هذاك أسامة هذا الرجل اليوم من قبل أبراج أمريكا وقد دعيت إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى يا رب أسألك باسمك العظيم أن ترزقني طفل بالمناسبة.
And similarly, what was revolution for Udham Singh and his comrades in India was terrorism in the eyes of Britishers. And that is why Gandhi never really believed in the model of an eye for an eye, because then there will be hundreds of such Udham Singhs taking the lives of many Odoyers, which will never end the cycle of violence. Depending on one's education and upbringing, culture, entertainment, national myths, religion, we define what is terrorism and what is revolution for us. Ask a kid in London if he feels Udham Singh is a revolutionary. The answer will be pretty different, I am sure, than what a kid in Punjab will give you. When Bhagat Singh was hanged for the murder of John Saunders and Chanan Singh at the age of 23, Jawaharlal Nehru wrote about him saying, Bhagat Singh did not become popular because of his act of terrorism, but because he seemed to vindicate for the moment the honor of Lala Lajpat Rai and through him of the nation. He became a symbol. The act was forgotten. The symbol remained. And within a few months, each town and village of the Punjab and to a lesser extent to the rest of the northern India resounded with his name. So where does Udham Singh and his quest to kill Odoyer fall? Was he a martyr? A revolutionary? A man dealing with his and a collective trauma? Or a terrorist? I'll leave that up to you to decide. Just like Shujit Sarkar did with his magnum opus Sardar Udham that goes beyond jingoism, fake sense of patriotism, forced Deshbhakti songs and begs a very simple question. Which side of the spectrum are you on?
Freedom, freedom.
Alright, thank you very much for staying till the end of this video and liking this video. अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आई है तो definitely like button smash कर देना and share it with other friends and tell me in the comment section as to what you exactly think about the film and the concept of revolution and terrorism in general. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. I read all the comments that you guys leave up to all the videos that are there and I'm totally pumped to make more such videos in the coming days.